Welcome everyone to Habroni Toastmasters meeting for this 4th of November 2025. We're excited to have you here with us. We have a very exciting packed agenda for you. I would like to request our SAA to please share the agenda in the chat so you'll be able to follow along in terms of what will be happening. And depending on where you're joining us, I know I'm here in Gaborone, maybe you might be joining us from somewhere else. The weather is a little bit chilly, so I'm actually loving it. I was a little bit tired of the heat, so I love this weather today. And I think it's a perfect day, definitely, for us to meet and have our meeting today, which is, even though it says spring into action, we can still spring into action on this slightly chilly day. Our Toastmaster of the day is actually a guest Toastmaster who is coming and helping us to be the Toastmaster of the day for our meeting. And it is none other than Cage. I know he always says, just call me Cage. So he is a member of Eloquent Speakers Toastmasters. And I must tell you, he is the current District 74 Table Topics evaluation champion. I hope I'm not saying it wrongly. The evaluation champion, yes, the evaluation champion. Yeah. So this year he was crowned the District 74 evaluation champion. And when I was looking at the records the other time, I realized this is not the first time he has reached being a champion in District 74. I think at one time he was even once Table Topics champion. So clearly we have a champion who will be steering our meeting today. He's a previous division director. I know he's been a president of his club. He's been the VPE of his club. He's a well-seasoned Toastmaster who will be our Toastmaster of the day today. So I'm very excited for him to come up and take up this role of Toastmaster of the day. So I want you all in the room, switch on your mics and let's give him a warm welcome. Oh, I see some emojis going on there, some reactions. Let's give him a warm welcome as he comes to the stage to take on the role of Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Cage.
All right. Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, wherever you may be joining us from, speaking, thank you so much for that introduction. It's insane. One thing that is not championing is my light. It's absolutely not championing this evening, but I am not in the spotlight today. Our speakers are, and so are all our role players. Obviously, spring to action means that we are springing into action, and whatever you do in life, this is the moment for you to do it to the fullest, right? If you've been delaying, we're about to close off the year. You've had a lot of resolutions. We know those resolutions that never came to the fray. This is the time for you to spring to action and really make sure that you accomplish something this year. I'm looking at the program for this evening, and I realize that we have 5 speakers, right? And I'm looking forward to experiencing or enjoying or appreciating the speeches that we have. We have Kagiso, we have Sahan, we have Chandada, we have Tepo, we have Leya. And these are all interesting speeches that are going to be coming up. But before I do this, allow me to introduce my team as well. And of course, before the team, I will then do the toast of the day. But I would like to introduce my team. After which, or before which, I'll do the toast of the day. Then after the toast of the day, I'll introduce who my team are. Then my team, of course, the team of evaluators that are going to be giving us feedback on the presentations that we are going to be hearing this evening. Thank you so much for joining us once again, wherever you are. Keep those emojis going, keep the energy going, and hopefully my lighting will change. I don't know what it looks like on your end, but I'm really dashing sometimes depending on where the light is coming from. Right, thank you so much. Right, so let's get right. So I'm going to get to the toast of the day, and it's really quite simple. Most cases we celebrate the moments that we have and the opportunities that we have wherever you are. It's not every day in every country, in every situation, every opportunity that you are able to sit and enjoy and celebrate your growth in whatever aspect it may be. And in this case, sitting with individuals that are such like yourselves that are looking to improve or work on their personal development. So ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I would like to present a toast. If you shouldn't have imaginary glasses because you're sitting at a desk. You should have a glass, a bottle, or glass or something like that, but essentially is really to pay homage to the opportunity for us to do this here, wherever you are in the country, the opportunity that is bestowed to us by Toastmasters, as well as your freedom and of expression and your freedom to push and really strive for your passion, which is personal development. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this moment, I would like to give a toast, and this toast is to Toastmasters. And I would like to invite all of you to please raise your glasses and repeat after me. Toastmasters, where leaders are made.
Toastmasters,
Right.
where leaders are
are
made.
made.
All right, thank you to all two of you. The others is fine. We'll catch on eventually. Right, so what we will then do now, I'd like to call on my team, and these are the role players for this evening. And this is all the individuals that are going to be participating. Of course, feedback here is the Breakfast for Champions. And once you've given the preparations, once you've given or delivered your speeches, what will then happen is you will get feedback. I'm sure we all know or familiar with this aspect. And essentially, it is for you to know what opportunities you might have missed out on and how to improve as a speaker, as a presenter, as a listener, and someone who gives feedback as well, because these are all important aspects. I'm going to call on now, if I could, or if I may, I would like to call on our Hackmaster. Our Hackmaster will then be followed by our I and Am counter, our grammarian, our timer, our table topics, and I will then call on our general evaluator. I'll then just ask them to tell us what their role is, what they'll be looking out for. And with that being said, I'm really now going to call on Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume, who is our Hackmaster. Toastmaster Nkhwalume.
Thank you, Cage. Good evening, Toastmasters and honored guests. I will be your Hackmaster for today. Basically, my role encourages effective listening during the meeting. And after the meeting, I will then compile some questions and have a pop quiz that I will ask you some questions just to check if you were listening in. Basically, that is my role in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nkhwalume. And essentially what Toastmaster Nkhwalume will be testing are your listening skills. Now, she's not testing your skills, but she is making sure that you are able to gauge your listening skills. So let's see who's listening. Let's see who's paying attention. She'll be asking some very interesting questions, very quite simple questions, actually. But once, or if you're able to answer them, then you know that you have a great attention span. So well done. Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Nkhwalume. I'm now going to call on our I and Am counter, who's Toastmaster Maduo Musotwane, who's going to tell us a bit more about the role and what they will be listening out to. Toastmaster Musotwane.
Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Good evening.
Okay. Ooh. My lighting is a bit bad this side, but I will be today's counter, and I'll be listening for any overused words or filler sounds, your 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 and filler sounds used as crutch for anyone who speaks during the meeting. So that'll be my role for today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Musotwane. And once again, we're just trying to make sure that you are able to understand what your crutches are. If you identify your crutches, perhaps then maybe you can reduce on your crutches. And the whole idea of this is to ensure that you have smooth deliberations when your presentations, in your speeches. But it's not to totally annihilate them, but it's just so that you are aware of your crutches and you're able to take hold of them. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Musotwane. Now we're going to go to the grammarian, Toastmaster Palesa Makato, who's going to give us who's going to tell us what her role is and explain it a little bit further. Before she does, I do realize that Toastmaster Lame Mtetro's hand is up. I'm not sure if she was just really excited from the beginning or if she's got something to say. Toastmaster Mtetro?
I'm the timer, Toastmaster Cage.
Great. Okay, awesome. Right, I see your hand is up, so I guess maybe he's just very excited to tell us about your role. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Toastmaster Palesa, and then I'm going to come back to you, Toastmaster Mtetwa, and then I'm going to go to Toastmaster Banda. Toastmaster Palesa Makato, over to you.
Hi, Cage. Please allow me to stand in for Palesa.
That's okay. And I'm assuming this is Toastmaster Mapalala. There you are.
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Tonight I'll be serving as your grammarian. As grammarian, my role is to point out or police the use of the English language. That is both commend the great use of the language and to point out and correct the incorrect or improper use of the English language. In addition to this, my role is also to make you aware of the word of the day. The word of the day is an initiative we have at Toastmasters to help us improve our vocabulary. And today, our word of the day is expeditiously, which means with speed and efficiency, or acting or done with speed and efficiency. Examples of its use are: the team handled the situation expeditiously, ensuring everything ran smoothly. She completed her Toastmasters project expeditiously to meet the deadline. In essence, this word expeditiously means to do something or act promptly and effectively. That is getting things done without delay. I'll take note of how many times we incorporate this word in our spoken speech today, and I'll deliver a report during the evaluation segment. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
So much, Toastmaster Mapalo. Thank you so much for stepping in. What I'm going to do now is I am going to then call on Toastmaster Lamim Tetwa, who is our timer for this evening, and she will take us through what her role is and what she's policing, if there's any policing. Toastmaster Lamim Tetwa, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer this evening, I'll be timing our prepared speakers. I'll be timing our table topics. I'll be also timing our evaluations. This is to help our speakers practice expressing their thoughts within a specific time. What I'll be doing is I will alert each speaker of the time they have left using these cards, yellow, red, and green. For our table topics, at 1 minute, I will show the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, is it showing on my side?
It is showing, yes.
Okay. At 1 minute, I'll be showing the green card for the table topics. And then at 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll be showing the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. Please note, red doesn't mean stop. It means you have 30 seconds to wrap up. And then for our prepared speakers, at 5 minutes, I'll show the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll show the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I'll show the red card, signaling that the speaker has 30 seconds to wrap up. And lastly, for our evaluations, which have 2 to 3 minutes to deliver the evaluations, at 2 minutes, I'll show the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, the yellow card. And lastly, at 3 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. All our best to all our speakers. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lamim Tetwa. I love that. We're going to go back. We're going to go to our table topics. And this is Toastmaster Asalepele Banda. Toastmaster Asalepele is going to tell us what the table topics is all about briefly. And I'm going to now invite you, Toastmaster Asalepele, to join us on the virtual stage to give us a rundown on what we should expect or what your role entails. Now, Toastmaster Banda is with us. Going once, going twice. I then suspect Toastmaster Banda is not with us, and we're then briefly going to expeditiously look for a replacement for the table topics. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to swiftly move along, and in case no one takes it up, we'll look for someone to take it up in the interim. Right, so we're going to go to a general evaluator who's going to give us an explanation of what the general evaluation is. And that's, of course, Toastmaster Matshidiso Tamaki. Toastmaster Matshidiso Tamaki, if you can tell us what you will be hearing or looking. In fact, what is your role this evening?
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I have the honor of serving as General Evaluator for today's meeting. My role simply entails evaluating the proceedings of today's meeting and giving feedback at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Like we said, she's she's the absolute feedbacker of the feedbackers. So after all the small feedbacking, she does the big feedbacking, which is fantastic for the growth. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, now I realize that Toastmaster Palesa Makhato is not with us, and she is one of the evaluators, and she will be evaluating Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang. Might I ask that we get someone to step up, and Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang will be doing presentation mastery level 1. Could we get then someone to evaluate that? I do see that Toastmaster Lamim Tetra's hand is still up. I don't know if she was anticipating this moment. Toastmaster Lamim Tetra, could this be your moment to shine?
Okay, Kay, just for clarity, I'm having my hand raised up to assist our speakers to make sure that I'm the first person appearing on that screen so that they don't miss the card.
All right. You know what? Had you told me that before, you wouldn't be the evaluator now. But I guess now you are an evaluator because you're the first person I saw. Unless we have a volunteer, because Toastmaster Lami does have a role as a timer. If anyone else is available, I'm not able to see who is willing to take up the role of evaluator. This is only going to go for 15 seconds. This could be your time to learn how to get feedback. That's right.
I was already prepared to evaluate standing in for Palesa, as I said earlier, so I'll just carry on. It's
all right, Toastmaster Malala, this is your last role that you are taking up. Thank you so much. I think you have 16 roles now. All right, great. So what we're going to do is we are going to Toastmaster Mapalala. If you could also just maybe now, this is the moment for you to give us a brief on what we should expect from Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang's presentation or speech. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, Gaborone Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters, and guests. Tonight, I have the pleasure of evaluating Kagiso Kelebemang, who is pursuing the Presentation Mastery Pathway, Level 1, Project 4, Evaluation and Feedback, Speech 2. This is contrary to the program. My apologies. The objectives of her speech or her project are to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. This means that she has delivered the speech before, which is in the last meeting. She has received feedback and is now expected to have incorporated it into this second speech. I'll be looking out to see that she indeed demonstrates that she has applied the feedback received. With that said, back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a speech titled Finding Peace in the Wild, project title, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. We're looking for a lot of movement that's coming along. Presentation Mastery Level 1, Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang. Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang, Finding Peace in the Wild.
Fellow Toastmasters, imagine this. The sun is rising over a golden reed, with the birds coloring the sky with sound. The elephants are wading gracefully in the shallows, and the hippos grunt at a distance. That was the first time that I found peace. Deep, quiet, unattained peace. On my first trip to the Okavango Delta, I never went there to find peace. As a matter of fact, I almost didn't go on that trip. So my life back then was very busy. Emails, to-do lists, meetings. Even when I wasn't working, my mind was always running on deadlines. And then a friend of mine suggested, let's go to the Delta. No Wi-Fi, no connectivity, no city noise. I brushed her off. No Wi-Fi? What are we even gonna do there? But later that night, when I was sitting by my balcony, looking at the stars that I could barely see anymore, something whispered inside of me. And it said, go, just go. And guess what I did? I went to the Delta. Our first activity there, we did a boat cruise using a mokoro, a narrow, slim canoe. And as it glided in the Delta, It felt like time moved slow. The water glistened like glass against the land. And each paddle created ripples that just flowed with the land and the air. We had our guide at the back who barely spoke. We called him Thabo. But his silence was much needed. His silence was dressed in patience and awareness. Because during the paddle, he suddenly stopped and pointed. And there they were, a herd of elephants. The mother elephant leading the way with the baby elephant trotting behind. They were so graceful, but majestic, very gentle, but powerful. And that was the first time I got to appreciate pliancy, that beautiful, graceful strength. And I realized that those elephants were not hunting. They were just existing with nature. And I realized that peace is not about control. It's about alignment. And now came the day of the lions. We were driving back from a game drive. In the evening, the sun is setting, cool breeze, cricket sounds in the air, and suddenly the Land Cruiser stopped. And Thabo whispered, "Don't." And right ahead were two golden eyes that stared right back at us. And appeared a lioness, and behind came a herd, a pack of lions. They moved close to our car, circled around it. They brushed it, and oh my gosh, everything inside me got filled with fear. My heart was pounding, my hands shivering, and all I wanted to do was run, expeditiously run. But in the moment, there's nowhere else we could run to. And all we could do was to be still. And in that stillness, I realized that the lions were not hunting. They were just being with nature. And again, peace is about alignment. Now later that evening, we were sitting by the bushfire. Could hear lions roaring in the distance, but this time with no fear. Because what? Fear and peace can coexist if you have trust. Now, fellow Toastmasters, whenever my mind gets busy, whenever my corporate life gets hectic again, I close my eyes and I think of the Delta, the peace, the gracefulness of the elephants, the power and presence of the lions, the water ripples that just flow with life. And I realize that peace is always within us. Now, fellow Toastmasters, I hope you find your own Okapango, your own peace in the wild. Thank you.
All right, halala, halala, and another halala. Your own peace in the wild. Sometimes your wild is not the Okapango Delta, but it's just navigating through life itself. Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang. Fantastic. Right, expeditiously moving along, right? We're going to now, I know that Toastmaster Sahan is not on the call with us, so we're going to move to Toastmaster once again, Chandada, who is going to be giving us a speech title, which is also level 1 Project 4, and it's titled The Power of Small Steps. Now, I am going to ask her evaluator to once again come in and just also give us an idea of what to expect, and in her or in his own words. So I invite Toastmaster Kgoshego Feledi, who is the evaluator. And Toastmaster Kgoshego, if you could come on stage and just give us briefly, let us know what to expect or what we're listening out for.
Good evening, Kate. Good evening, Toastmasters. Am I audible?
You're very audible, yes.
Thank you. I will not be able to share my video. Apologies for that. Chandada, much like Kagiso, is presenting her level 1 project 5. She had received feedback in the previous presentation and now will be evaluating if she has successfully implemented that feedback. The last feedback that Chandada received, she had to work on not using paper and employing more stage presence. And she had to challenge herself by including a personal story and how it impacted her. So that is what I'll be looking forward to. I'm very excited to hear in the speech. Thank you.
Thank you. And boy, do we not love personal stories, all of that. Looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, Chandada's speech is also level 1, project 4, and it's titled The Power of Small Steps. For the Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, the power of small steps, Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume. Over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, good evening. I will expeditiously try to take you through my speech today. Imagine trying to climb a mountain by taking one giant leap. It seems impossible, right? Yet in life, we often expect a monumental change just overnight instead of taking it one step at a time. But the truth is, real progress comes from small, consistent steps, not expeditiously rushing through what you need to do. Today, I want to explore the power of small steps, how they have shaped our success, our confidence, and our lives. When we start a new project or try to develop a new habit, maybe you want to stop chewing on your nails or whatever interest you may want to explore. Consider something new to learn. When you start a marathon, you don't just start off by rushing with 20 kilometers. You start with small steps, starting off with a kilometer. Tomorrow you join 5 kilometers, then 10, then 15, and eventually you jump to the 20 kilometer. Small steps aren't just about starting. They're about sustainability. They're about building that momentum. Big sudden changes are very hard to maintain. Always remember that. But consistency with the small actions, they become habits. Drinking more water, reading 10 pages a day, or practicing 5 minutes of public speaking every day in front of a mirror, just so that you improve on your confidence, your posture, your stance, and your stage presence. Small actions help you build that bigger picture and form that habit that you want to go into. Fear often holds us back. The idea of tackling something huge can be paralyzing. But small steps make those challenges approachable. I remember back in the day, I was still serving as a junior account executive. I always liked being in the background. I never wanted to be in the forefront, but the truth of the matter was I did most of the work. I would do everything and my supervisor would take the shine. Until one day, our MD sat me down and said, Chanda, if you continue with this type of behavior, you will not get anywhere. Face your fears and be in the forefront. The first weeks I was a bit scared. I was like, oh my gosh, will I be able to do it? Until one day, I just bit the bullet. I started taking over meetings, scheduling them, mentoring some of my colleagues and other intern students that we would have at that time. And guess what? Within 6 months, I was promoted to a senior account manager. And the day I got my promotion, my MD said, remember our conversation. And I just want to share, to this day, I value that conversation because had he not pushed me out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't be here today. I would still be that girl who just wants to be in the background. Fear often holds us back. I will repeat that. I just want us to reflect on the statement. Fellow Toastmasters, the next time you face a big task, remember this. You don't need to leap the mountain in one bound. Start small. Take one step, then another. Celebrate each small victory along the way. I know we all have a challenge of not wanting to toot our own horn, but it's okay. And those small victories, they help us achieve our bigger picture. Because over time, those small steps lead to enormous achievements that when you look back, you will feel proud of yourself as well. And you will be a stronger, more confident you. So today, I challenge you, identify one small step that you can take this week that will help you push the needle towards a personal or a professional goal. Take it and keep stepping forward. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume. And there's a lovely saying that says, even tiny steps break big fears, one step at a time. And I know there was a beautiful artist who said, one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move right along and we're going to get to our next speech. And of course, this is going to be Toastmaster Leya Musunga, and he'll be delivering. It should be evaluated by Toastmaster Mphokabelo. I'm going to give Toastmaster Mphokabelo this opportunity to let us know what we will be listening and what we should hope to listen out for. And then I'll formally introduce Toastmaster Leya Musunga. Toastmaster Mphokabelo, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. I will be evaluating Leya Musunga for her project titled Unconditional Strategy Pathway, speech titled What Color Are You? In terms of what I'll be looking out for, as for the member to cultivate an understanding of how his or her emotions impact relationships. It is also designed to help the member identify how others' emotions impact his or her emotional state. And the other objective is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience journaling emotions or being aware of emotions when interacting with others. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mphokabelo. Ladies and gentlemen, Motivational Strategies Level 3. The title of this project is What Color Are You? Toastmaster Leya Musunga will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. The speech title, What Color Are You? For the Toastmasters, Toastmaster Leya Musunga. Over to you, Leya.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes when you wake up, you're ready to take on the world? And other days, you just want to crawl back into your bed. And that's because our emotions, just like our traffic lights, red, green, yellow, guide us through life. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me introduce you to the zone of regulations with colors. Green. This is when you are in the go zone. So green represents feeling happy, calm, focused, ready to learn and lead. This is where we should all want to be. We then have yellow. This says slow down. You might be feeling a bit anxious, worried, or confused, and you're not really in danger, but sometimes you realize that something could be off. It's basically your body's way of saying, pause, breathe, check in. Next, we have the red zone. This is where your emotions take over. Anger, panic, frustration, and fear. In the red zone, it's very difficult to think clearly. One actually needs to stop and not push yourself, but to protect your peace when you find yourself in the red zone. Finally, we have blue. This is the rest zone. You may feel sad, tired, and a bit unmotivated. It's not a bad place to be. It's your body's way of asking you to rest and recharge. These colors that I've highlighted today was a way that I used to monitor my emotions a few weeks ago when I decided to actually introspect. We were working on the upcoming District 74 Hall of Fame Awards. You can imagine in the beginning, I was excited. I was definitely in the green zone. I wanted to make sure that definitely this Hall of Fame would be something that our members in our district would be excited about. I was part of the team with our Club Fitness Rewards Chair, Michael, our PQD, Brighton, and our CGD, Devin, and also our District Director, Becky Sisa. We had several meetings over a few weeks leading up to the Hall of Fame. Along the way, I was tasked with coming up with the slides for the Hall of Fame. Initially, I thought this would be an easy task. I'll be able to run through it expeditiously. But as I slowly started working through them, I realized there were lots of slides. Honestly, by the end, I had 145 slides. Then one of our meetings, a suggestion was stated that I should be the MC of the night. Me? No! I was definitely feeling in the red zone. I was scared. But with one of the people talking to me and saying, Leah, this would be a great way to challenge yourself, I slowly decided maybe this would be a good thing for me to challenge myself, get myself out of the comfort zone. Over those few weeks, We went back and forth in terms of what we could do. There were times when one of us would have been frustrated about something not being done in the time that was expected, but then the day finally arrived. And just before 6 o'clock hit, I was definitely scared again, but my co-host was able to calm my nerves and the night started. And I felt excited when the night rolled. And by the time we ended, I was feeling so much enthusiastic because I was able to undertake a task, despite all the various emotions I had gone through to reach that particular date. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, these color zones are actually a part of us as human beings. In terms of the emotions that we feel, it's not something that we can avoid. The goal is always for us to try to move towards green. So how do we do that? How do we self-regulate? There are simple actions one can take. Listening to music, talking, finding someone you can talk to that you trust. Maybe exercising, having a little walk, or maybe just taking a bit of rest. Every time you do that, you're steering yourself back to green, to calm, focus, and balance. I'm not sure what color you are on right now, or maybe that you were on yesterday, but I just want to remind you that next time you feel overwhelmed or drained, don't judge yourself for being in the yellow, the red, or even the blue. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do to move towards green? Because emotional awareness isn't about avoiding feelings. It's about managing them with wisdom and care. Let's learn to notice our colors, name them, navigate back to green. One deep breath at a time. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
One deep breath at a time. And that's how you've made it to this age and this moment in time, by taking one deep breath at a time. And if you think about the number of breaths you've taken in your life, wild, that's all I'm saying. And it all happened with one deep breath, or one breath at a time. Thanks so much, Toastmaster Leya Musunga. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to honor Toastmaster Lami Mtetwa, who's going to be giving us our timers report. She's going to tell us how our speakers did. And I do know that Toastmaster Asalipele Banda is with us, really excited and just really bubbling to give us those table topics in a little bit. So, Toastmaster Lami Mtetwa, let's do the thing that needs to be done. Please take us through the time report for our presentations and our speakers.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Indeed, all our speakers did the thing that needed to be done. They were all expected to deliver their speeches within 5 to 7 minutes. And I'm gladly happy to say they all did that. Our first speaker, who was Kagiso, gave her speech in 6 minutes, 12 seconds. Then we had Chandada, who also gave her speech in 5 minutes, 53 seconds. And our last speaker, who was Leya, who was Toastmaster Musunga, gave her speech 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So all our speakers were within the specific time that they were expected to give their speeches in. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
No, thank you, Toastmaster and timekeeper. Right, so we are moving to our vote. I realize that there's a best effort speaker, and if someone's going to correct me now, I know a poll should come up right now for us to vote on a best effort speaker. This is just to appreciate the speaker who today, all right, you might feel no wrong or right answer gave the best effort or spoke to you wherever you are sitting in your little cubicle table in front of you. We have three speakers: Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang, Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume, as well as Toastmaster Leya Musunga. If you could quickly just click on any of them, it is multiple choice, so you can pick any of those and submit. Let us know who your version or what your version of the best speaker, who it was. I'm gonna give it another 5 seconds. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and I think that was as easy as a tap in, and expeditiously we are going to move right along. Well, Hawk Master. It always seems funny when you say Hawk, because it's like you have to say Hawk, right? So Hawk, the Hawk Master of the evening, Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume, who is going to give us the Hawk Master session, or she's going to facilitate the Hawk Master session. Toastmaster Chandada, over to you. Or should we wait for the table topics?
Yes, let's wait for the
Yes,
table topics.
please.
All right, can I
Okay.
see the hands up for Toastmaster Asalepile? Or someone just let me know, confirm that Toastmaster Asalepile is here.
Yes, she is. Toastmaster.
Leah's hand is up. She means that I think Leah's saying a lot of things tonight. I mean, Lame is saying a lot of things this evening. So Lame has just confirmed. I've also heard another voice telling us that Toastmaster Asalepile is in the building. So Toastmaster Asalepile, Banda, over to you, running the table topic session. And folks, remember that the theme for today is a spring into action. I don't know why I sang that, but I just did. Toastmaster Asalepile, over to you.
My apologies, we lost her. Please give her a few minutes. She's trying to log in.
All right. We're just gonna hang on there. All right, let's just go through the speeches that we heard this evening. We did hear 3 speeches, and I think that the voting is done. So I got a hands up saying that we have done with the voting. We heard Toastmaster Kagiso Kelebemang, we heard Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume, and of course Toastmaster Leya Musunga. Finding peace in the wild, whatever wild it is that you might be going through. Sometimes it's not the Okavango, sometimes it's not the wilderness, but sometimes it's just your mind, your thoughts, or just going through a moment in life. Find peace in your life, and sometimes take a break and think about life and look at it from a different perspective. Who knows, you might be reborn. Toastmaster Chandada came through and she was like, yay! She did a lot of up and down. I saw movements there. I was like, yeah. But I guess that was the objective of the moment, sometimes to challenge yourself to really get out of your shell and speak with your body. Why? Because your body speaks. And of course, Leah came through and gave us her experience of what we thought was a flawless evening. But in the background, people were scared. There was green, there was red, there was amber. Whoa, stop. But eventually, you know how to, or you are able to come together, put it together, get it together, and in the process, learn how you react under pressure. Fantastic speeches, fantastic experiences, some experiences that we too can also relate with in our lives wherever we are, right? So I don't want to lie to you. I want to talk to you a lot because now I'm going to start lying and laugh, and then, you know, things are going to happen. Toastmaster Asalepile, are you in the building? Are we still trying to connect with Toastmaster Asalepile?
She's here.
Oh, it's going to be a fantastic table topic session. Toastmaster Asalepile, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to give the floor to you. Table topics, ladies and gentlemen. Toastmaster Asalepile. There we are. There she is. Toastmaster Asalepile, just blink once if you are there and you hear me and everything is okay. Are you safe? Blink once.
Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, colleagues, and good evening, guests. I will be your table topics master for tonight. I understand we have only 10 minutes, so I have 5 questions. Can I ask you guys to volunteer to participate in Toastmasters? Otherwise, I'll have to pick and choose. I have question 1 up to 5. Any takers?
In the absence of any volunteers, I'm going to have to pick. And I'm going to pick, I think I'm going to go with guests. I'll just look at the list and I will pick any foreign name I come across. Faima. Faima Akelo. Can you take this opportunity to give your first table topics? Colleagues, table topics is where we practice impromptu speaking. You basically speak on the go. You don't practice your speech. So Faima, can you brace us with your presence? I guess she's too shy.
I nominate Gogontle.
Awesome, Gogontle.
Hi. Am I audible?
Hi. Yeah, you're audible. Hi, Gogontle.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Should I start now? Oh.
So I have 5 questions, numbered 1 to 5. You pick one.
Okay.
What's the lucky number?
Oh, I'm supposed to pick now.
Yeah, you pick. It's random.
I thought I was gonna hear them first. I would pick 3.
3.
Yes.
So Gogontle, if you could spring clean one area of your life, what would that be? And why would you spring clean that area of your life? If you could spring clean one area of your life, what would it be and why?
An area I would spring clean would be mental health, my mental health. It's been a murky thing. I've been up and downs with my emotions, not regulating them, not really following standards that are put in how to deal about depression, anxiety, paranoia, and stuff. But one thing I really do feel like would prompt me to actually clean this up more is because I believe that the brain is the CPU of the body. So if my mental health is not of a sound state, I feel like I am working with myself at a loss. I am at a loss and I'm not giving 100% that I could in anything that I put my hands on. That's it.
Well, thank you for that answer. Indeed, it is true. Our brain is our CPU. Without it, you're dead. If your brain dead, as you know, you're basically not here. So thank you, Gogontle, for that. I have 4 more questions. Do we have any volunteer?
I'd like to nominate Zolile. He's one of our members.
All right, Zolile. You can share your video. Zolile.
Good evening.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
So I have question 1 up to 5, except question 3. So you can pick
Let's
any.
go with question 4.
Question 4. Yeah. So Zolile, how does changing seasons affect you generally? How do the changing season affect you?
Thank you for that question. I'm not fond of winter, if I would say. I think for me, it's a season where it's quite slow, it's quite dull. There's a bit of there's non-existence of energy, so it affects me in that way. I'm more fond of the summer seasons, of spring, of when there's abundance of life, birds chipping away. So for me, that's the challenge for me. I like an environment where there's fun, laughter, and speed, and things are processed expeditiously. So that's where my headspace tends to be.
Well, thank you so much, Zolile, for that answer. Indeed, spring is quite fresh and bright. It gives you life. It's not as slow as winter. I have to agree with you on that one. We got 2 questions down. We have 3 more questions.
I'd like to
Any
nominate
takers?
Mulenga Kashingwa. She used to be a member of Gaborone Breakfast, if I'm not mistaken.
Mulenga.
Good evening, everyone. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you
Oh,
are
yeah, I
audible.
can hear you.
Hi, hi.
So
What?
Mulenga, I have question 1 up to 1, 2, and 5 for you.
Okay. I'll go for question 2.
Question 2.
Yes.
Okay. What small daily action can you take to move closer to a goal that you've been putting off? What small daily action can you take to move closer to a goal you have been putting off?
Thank you for that. A small daily action that I would take to move towards the goal, which I'd like to achieve, is public speaking. Maybe by reading more on public speaking, practicing, as well as finding a space such as this one where I could speak. Because I've been unable to continue doing Toastmasters due to my work schedule. And I'm not, this year I haven't been in Gaborone often, which was a challenge, but that shouldn't be an excuse because this is an alternative platform where this team meets virtually. So looking back and trying to move forward, I should work on practicing more and joining you guys, even volunteering to speak, because since it's been a while, I was like, I hope I won't be pointed at.
but I've seen that it's affected my career progression, because working, as one of the speakers said, working in the background doesn't help you in climbing up the ladder. You need to practice public speaking more and expeditiously improve on your public speaking in order to perform in front of an audience to an extent that you'll be able to perform in the boardroom. That's what I would do. Thank you.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Mulenga, for that. Our fourth speaker will be Faima. Faima, you may switch on your video. Faima, your question is what?
Okay.
Can you switch on your video?
Okay. I'm here.
Hi.
Hello.
What happened? What had happened at
Why?
first? Remember you're the first person I actually volunteered.
Maybe I was kind of
Did you have a
nervous.
change of mind?
Yeah, I thought of not just being mute, so because it's like going to make no use to me, like participating in public speaking, but then I don't speak.
Yeah, that was the right move. All right. So question 5. What do you like most about spring?
What do I like most?
Yes.
About what?
Spring.
Spring.
Yeah.
First of all, what is spring? Did you hear me?
Oh yeah, I heard you. Spring as a season, like how we have winter, summer, autumn, spring. What do you like most about the season spring?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, with the
Yes, so you was trying to explain to me what spring is, but my network is not stable. Can you please come again?
So spring, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, though it's kind of breaking from my side.
Okay,
Hi,
so spring it's a
Hello.
oh, okay. You can try to explain to her later.
Yes, hi Faima. So spring is the season normally that happens after winter. So that's the question, just to say, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Even if you're not familiar with it, you can maybe just share what you might know about it or what you don't know about it. So it's normally the season that happens after winter.
Okay. Maybe I can take another question because I don't really know much about spring. That's why I ask what spring is.
All right, no worries. So question 1 then it is, which is, tell us about an experience where you had to spring into action. So tell us about an experience where you had to spring into action, where you had to renew something. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to quit everything. I'm kind of like, I am not much that into education, but I love to speak and to learn.
So Fahima, spring is basically a season where it's after winter, like Leah had said. So it's about renewal. It's just basically sort of a symbol of renewal or starting over, something fresh, that kind of thing. So what I'm asking is, just tell us about experience in your life where you had to start over something or start something new.
I think it just feels real like when you, let's say the winter, though basically from our side here, we don't have that much winter. So we have just dry season and then rainy season. And if like rainy season is ending, which means has been cold and the cold weather is going away, so the hot one is coming, you kind of feel like good. Like if you're someone who is allergic to coldness like me, so you feel good, you feel like you're going to be a little bit relieved of the cold weather, feel excited. Still more to say?
No, thank you so much. That was a good try. I also
I
like
hope
spring
so.
because I also like spring because, like you said, the weather is nicer. It's not so dull like winter. So thank you for that. Our last table topics will be Bashati.
Thought I got saved by Fatima.
Yeah, because you already know the question, right?
So which one do I take?
The number 5. What do you like most about spring?
What do I like most about spring? What is it that you might be liking most about spring? I believe that my love for flowers is what excites me about spring. Any day now when my emotions are low or when I'm happy, give me a bunch of flowers and definitely you would have cured if it was a disease or would have elevated my mood, positive one, by flowers. And whenever God decides to take me to heaven, please come wearing floral clothes, blossoming with smile, because I am a happy person and I want to be remembered like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do I like about spring? It's the flowers. And if I die young, please bring me lots and lots of flowers. And if any other time you see me low-mooded, bring me flowers. Then you'll get back the smile. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you, Bashati. Yeah, that was the last speaker. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Asal, for facilitating the table topics session, which is essentially just really another opportunity for you to learn how to think on your feet and apply everything that we learn in Toastmasters, your introduction, your body, and your conclusion, as well as really just think of your feet and put together ideas. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here with the table topics. It's just really an opportunity for you to say something, to speak, and you can go home and sleep in peace, knowing that you had an opportunity, you took that step, and just like that, you're starting to defeat your fear. Right, with that being said, we are going to move right on to our Hackmaster. Once again, Huck. wherever you are. Hug wherever you are. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Toastmasters, allow me to introduce, to run the Hugmaster session, Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume. Toastmaster Chandada Nkhwalume, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening once again. Now for the fun segment. I'm going to ask a few questions, so I'd like you all to unmute your mics such that when I ask a question, we are ready to answer. Apologies, there's a glitch with my internet connection, so I can't switch on my video because of the bandwidth. Without further ado, I will jump right into it. So the first question is, what color is the timer screen when you have 30 seconds left?
Number.
Red.
It's a red.
Pardon?
Red.
Great.
Red.
Great. Kagiso mentioned that she found her peace on her first trip to somewhere. Where did she go?
The Delta.
The Okavango Delta.
Okavango.
Yes, the correct answer is the Okavango Delta. Third question, what was the name of Kagiso's guide?
Tab.
That's correct. The correct answer is Thabo. Leya had cards up. What color were they?
Green, yellow, and red.
Red, yellow, blue.
Blue
That
as
is
well.
correct. Green, red, and yellow. Fifth question, what is the theme of the day?
Spring into action. Spring into action.
Springing to action is correct. And what is the word of the day?
Expeditiously.
Great. On our program, how many speakers were absent?
2.
That is correct. Can anyone share Leah's speech title?
What color are you?
It's a bit muffled. What's the correct one?
What color are you?
Aha. Okay. People have been listening. Looking at the time, I will squeeze in one last question. Who was conducting our table topic segment? Can we share her full name? Asalepele who?
Banda.
Thank you, thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Right, thanks so much to our Hugmaster. Thank you for that. And it looks like people are listening. Thank you so much for participating. And shout out to Hugmaster, Toastmaster, Chandada Nkhwalume. So what we're going to do now is we are going to give an opinion or how we felt about the table topics. And this is that moment, something's going to pop up in your screen. And you are going to tap on, once again, it's a multiple choice. So you're going to tap on the one that really spoke to you, one that you remember. It was the best table topics speaker of the evening. Now, we had a few table topics, if you remember, but how it's going to come up, you're going to see the name in a second. And then you should please then vote for your best table topics speaker of the evening. Any second now, it'll come up. You don't have to do much. It just pops up. Promise you, any second now, it's just going to happen. There you are. Did tell you. Zoli Lehavi, Mulenga Kashingwa, Faima Akelo, and Bashati Matape gave us their deliberations. In fact, they gave us their efforts of the table topics of the evening. So it's your opportunity now to pick on whoever you felt spoke to you a little bit more. I'm going to give it about 15 seconds. I'm also going to give it now 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and just like that, the votes are in. Right, so what I'm going to do is now we're going to get into the second session of our meeting. Remember, the first session really focuses on the communication aspect and speaking and how to use your voice. But now we're going to get into the listening and feedback session. This is where individuals who were tasked with the tasks, are you tasked with a task? Who are tasked with listening or putting their listening skills to the test are going to get feedback, and we can listen very closely to say if they were really listening. I'm going to now evaluate, in fact, call on, and perhaps maybe this might be the best time for me to call on our general evaluator. And the general evaluator is going to run this next session. General evaluator had a team of evaluators who were listening very carefully to what you were saying. We're going to hear the speech evaluations. After that, we're going to then give our vote for the best speech evaluator. So, speech evaluators, we are listening. Over to you, general evaluator. I'm sure you're going to be able to then call on the different evaluators. Our general evaluator was Toastmaster Matsiriso Tamaki. What's the Toastmaster Matsiriso Tamaki in the building? I haven't heard from her the whole evening. Oh, there she is. Been quiet. Over to you, general evaluator.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will be leading the last segment of the meeting, which is the evaluation session. In this segment, this is where our speakers get feedback to help them grow as speakers. In Toastmasters, we normally say feedback is the breakfast of champions. So now I will call upon our evaluators to provide feedback to the speakers, and each evaluator will speak for 2 to 3 minutes. I will call upon evaluator number 1 to the virtual stage, which is evaluator Tumelo Mapalala, who was evaluating Kagiso Kelebemang. Tumelo, over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Good evening, Gaborone Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters and guests. As I said earlier, I had the pleasure of evaluating Kagiso Kelebemang. Congratulations, Kagiso Kelebemang, on coming to the end of your level 1 and pursuing this project evaluation and feedback. You gave your speech last meeting, which I got to witness, and I believe I had the great chance to compare the two. You began your speech with, imagine this, and indeed we imagined it and we were right there with you. For your benefit, I'll give you your feedback in the form of 3 things you did well, 1 thing you may want to work on, and 1 way to challenge yourself. The 3 things you did well, Kagiso, were that you indeed satisfied the objectives of your project, which were to implement feedback that you had gotten in your first speech. The 2 speeches were extremely different, and I can commend you for implementing the feedback that you got. You gave a well-structured speech with a clear intro, body, and a conclusion which had a call to action to ask us to find peace anywhere, be it in the wild or whatsoever. The second thing you did well, you told a story. At Toastmasters, we believe that stories add life or paint the picture of exactly what you want us to hear through your spoken word. And indeed, we enjoyed that trip along with you as you ventured in the Okavango Delta. The third thing you did well was that you implemented body language quite exquisitely. You used your hand gestures. You showed how you glided through in that narrow mokoro, and you displayed driving on the game drive. And when you came to a halt in the game drive car, indeed, we were right there with you, and body language painted an extra picture to that story you wanted to tell us. The one thing I think you may want to work on, in addition to your wonderful body language, is your vocal variety. I do take note that from time to time you whispered and told us how that voice said, just go, and how your game drive instructor said, or game drive guide said, don't move. Whispering is one way of using volume as a part of vocal variety. However, there are other aspects such as tone, pitch, and speed that you may take advantage of. How do you do this? This brings me to the one thing you may want to challenge yourself with, which is to expand on the spoken quotations or speech you add to your stories. Saying "don't move" or "just go" is one beginning. There's so much that you could add to paint more of this picture with us that we'd get to appreciate the story. In summary, the 3 things you did well: you applied your feedback in a well-structured speech, you added a story, and you had exquisite body language. The one thing you may want to work on is your vocal variety. How so? By expanding on spoken speech. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tumelo. I will now call upon Josego, who was evaluating Ms. Chandada Nkhwalume. Over to you, Josego.
Thank you very much. Chandada was presenting her level 1, project 5, with the title, The Power of Small Steps. Just a reminder of what I was evaluating in Chandada's speech. We were looking at, did she improve on not holding a paper, not using paper? Did she improve on incorporating more stage presence? And did she embrace the challenge of incorporating a personal story and indicating how it impacted her? This is my evaluation. Chandada, I really appreciated the speech that you gave, talking about small steps, how you indicated how you started out, not putting yourself out there, and through that conversation with your MD, which is your personal story, how you got to now start implementing small steps, speaking out more often, calling meetings, leading meetings, and also mentoring some of your colleagues. That was a personal story which I appreciate, which is an improvement on what you were advised to do. This, you indicated that it benefited you by gaining your promotion. And not only did it work out in that sense for your benefit, but also it added as a support for your story, for your entire speech. It was evidence that indeed small steps do have power. You did not use paper. You were not holding any paper when you were presenting your speech. I would appreciate that. I did notice you were looking up, which I appreciate. That is a good way to position any notes if you have any. It didn't distract you from looking at us on the screen. You had enactments in your speech, which I appreciated, the taking steps towards the screen and the use of some body language. However, I would like you to improve on having and implementing unintentional body movement. Your hands were moving a lot, and some of which were not in line with what you were speaking on. So work on improving that. Another improvement for you is that you were mostly monotonous in your speech. Employ more vocal variety. Show excitement when now all those efforts and hard work that you put in was now working in your benefit. Change your tone, be excited, for example. So that is my evaluation. You indeed managed to achieve the goals that you were given, which is to not use paper, to incorporate a personal story. Well done, Chandada, on your speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Josego, for that evaluation of Ms. Chandada Nkhwalume. We seem to have lost connection with Mpho Kabelo, who was supposed to evaluate Ms. Leya Musunga. At this point, I will invite volunteers to give feedback to Ms. Leya Musunga. I believe, Mpho is back on the call. Mpho
She's
Kabelo,
back.
over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. I might be back on the call, but I don't have all the details for Leah's speech evaluation, for Leah's speech presentation. However, I can just maybe throw in one, especially the introduction part, and perhaps we do the round robin evaluation.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Please go ahead. Yes.
Thank you so much. I had the pleasure of evaluating Leah. Leah, I was captivated by your introduction when you threw in a question. You said, have you ever noticed that sometimes when you wake up, you are ready to take on the world, or on other days you just want to crawl back to your body? That was a way in which you capture our attention. And I also liked the part where you likened the traffic lights to the emotions, and you didn't leave us there, and you went on to unpack those colors, reflecting them or likening them to different emotions. This is where I will stop with my evaluation and hand over back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kabelo. I will now open the floor for any volunteers to add on to what Ms. Kabelo has said about Ms. Leya Musunga's speech. I believe we all listened to her speech. If there is anyone who would like to add to the evaluation to give Ms. Leya feedback about the things that she did well, any areas of improvement, and what she will have to challenge herself. Two participants raised their hands.
Hello, Madam GE.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to add that what Leah did very well was that she incorporated the use of props, which was what she came with, the colors. She indicated the colors physically. I just wanted to add that. Please do invite more.
Okay, thank you, Tumelo. Any more volunteers to give Ms. Leah feedback? Can I pick on you, Ms. Bonolo Kwapa? Any more volunteers?
Madam Gidi, I also have something to share.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lame.
Something that I felt Leah did very well was that she told a personal story, and a lot of us were able to relate with her experience of being forced out or being challenged to step out of her comfort zone. So she really did that very well, and it really resonated with a lot of us.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lame. Any more volunteers to give Ms. Leya Musunga feedback? Perhaps suggest ways she can challenge herself? Going once, twice? Okay. At this point, I will request Ms. Leah to launch the best evaluator poll. And while she's launching the best evaluator poll, I will call upon my supporting role players for the reports. May I kindly invite the R counter to the virtual stage to give us their report. The R counter Maduo Musulpane.
Good evening, everyone. I will start with our first speaker, Kagiso. She had no filler sounds and did not overuse any words. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. And then Chandada, which was our second speaker, had no filler sounds and any overused words. Then our third speaker, Leya, also didn't have any filler sounds or overused words. Then when it comes to table topics, Rontle had one and she overused I am. She kept saying I am. Then second table topic speaker, Zolile, had five like and third speaker, Mulenga, had 5 1 and 1 Then Faima overused like, the word like, I think probably 6 or 7 times. And then the last speaker, Bashati, had no filler sounds or any overused words. Thank you.
Thank you, Maduo. At this point, I will call upon our timekeeper, Ms. Lami Mtetwa, to give us the timekeeper's report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I'll be giving the table topics report and as well as the evaluations. And I'd like to start off by saying congratulations to all our table topics takers for this evening. We had Khokhontle who spoke for 1 minute, 1 second. Remember, all our table topics are between 1 minute to 2 minutes. And we had Zolile, who kept it short and sweet and spoke for 53 seconds. Then we had Mulenga, who spoke for 1 minute, 32 seconds. Faima also decided to keep it short and sweet and spoke for only 37 seconds. And lastly, we had Bashati, who spoke for 1 minute, 17 seconds. When it came to our evaluations, I only managed to check the time for only 2 of our evaluators, Tumelo and Khosekho. Tumelo gave her evaluation in 3 minutes, 28 seconds. Khosekho gave her evaluation in 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And I would like to say all our speakers did very well in terms of keeping their times or in terms of expressing their thoughts within the specified time. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ms. Lami, for the timekeeper's report. I would call upon Ms. Tumelo Mapalala to give us the grammarian report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I had the pleasure of also serving as your grammarian, and I'd like to commend you all for the proper or stellar use of the English language. I did, however, note several words that I figured were great to add to your arsenal in your vocabulary. I picked up the word wading. Wading meaning walking through a liquid such as water. So the elephants were wading. And then I also picked up the word glistening. Glistening means shining with a sparkling light. So glistening as opposed to shining. Please do use it. I picked up a word of the day from a few weeks ago called or known as pliancy. Pliancy is the quality of being easily bent, flexible, or adaptable, both physically and in character. I also noted the words or statements used to describe groups of animals. So I commend Kagiso for using the term a herd of elephants. However, a pack of lions is not quite correct. A group of lions is known as a pride. So a pride of lions. I also wanted to point out that a bunch of flowers, as Bashati said, is known as a bouquet of flowers. Please do add those terms to your arsenal of vocabulary. When it came to the word of the day, our word of the day was expeditiously or expeditiously, however you choose to pronounce it. Our Toastmaster of the day used it the most. He used it 3 times. Kagiso used it once. Chandada used it twice. Bashati used it once in the chat. Zolile used it once and Mulenga used it once. I'd like for you all to take it as a package as you leave today to just add to your piggy bank of words. So the word of the day again was expeditiously, which means to move quickly or efficiently. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Tumelo, for the grammarian report. At this juncture, I will give a brief overview of the overall meeting. The meeting started well on time, and the speakers also respected the time. I loved the energy of the Toastmaster of the day. We even got to experience his singing skills. The speakers were all audible and delivered excellent informative speeches. And I also loved the transitions between the segments, including the Toastmasters and use of the word of day. I also observed that there was great use of the English language, and the evaluators' feedback was on point and informative. I believe it is great feedback to the speakers, and it's going to help them grow. In a true Toastmaster style of wearing many hats, I must commend the team for stepping up to take roles when others are not available. And in conclusion, as Chandada said, small steps lead to enormous achievements. And this is the feedback that will help us grow into more effective communicators. And I would like to thank all of you for gracing this meeting. Over to you, Madam President of the club. Thank you very much.
I think we can hand back to the Toastmaster of the day, maybe to say some final words.
Oh,
We
okay.
have to leave
Over to you, Toastmaster.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize he had left the call. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I guess we are definitely thankful for our very energetic Toastmaster of the day. Unfortunately, he had to leave. I know sometimes that does happen. Otherwise, at this point, we have been voting for various items that have been happening this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and share those results. Let me just share my screen. So we'll start with, I think it's best evaluator of the night. So this is based on your vote. I think most of the votes, we had over 80% that had voted. So drum roll, da 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 da, as it normally is Tumelo Mapalala. Woo, woo, woo. Well done, Tumelo. Well done, Tumelo. And then we move on to table topics. So for table topics, it's Bashati. Well done, Bashati. Best table topics award goes to you. And then best effort speaker. And then best effort speaker of the night goes to Chandada. Well done, Chandada. Well done. Well done. And as always, we always want to appreciate guest Toastmasters that come and take up roles in our meeting. So thank you so much to our Toastmaster of the day, Cage, our evaluator, Mpo, and our other evaluator, Josejo, who took up a role this evening. Thank you so much for coming and assisting us in our meeting today. And I think one announcement from the club, last month we had just a social event for the club where we went to climb a hill in Tlokwe. So it was such an amazing experience. We thought we should do it again. So we are going to do it again on the 15th of November. So our VPPR, Tumelo, I'm sure she's going to share an updated poster with the Google link just for you to fill in, just so we know how many people are actually attending, just to help us in terms of planning. So 15th November, we're climbing the Tlokwe Hill one more time. Maybe we're trying to see if we can have these things as a monthly thing. So maybe this time we'll go back to Tlokwe in case you missed out. Then the next time we'll try and attempt another hill. I hear there are other hills around the city. So we'll try and see how many we can summit during the rest of the year. So in case you missed the first time, just note we're climbing again early in the morning. 5:45 we meet, 6 a.m. we climb. It takes us up by within an hour. We're normally done and back to the ground and leaving, so don't think it takes up your whole day. So I want to invite you, come along, exercise a little bit and join us and get to practice some table topics on top of the hill. And with that being said, I would now just like to engage one or two of our guests. So if any, I think we had a few guests with us today. Just want to find out, how did you find our meeting today? I think, let me see who I can see here. Kaone Princess, I don't know if you're a guest. Hello. Hello, Kaone. Okay, she's shy. What about Lame Bansi? Hello, Lame. Hello, Lame. You can just unmute yourself. Just want to find out, how did you find our meeting today? Or if you're a guest, you can unmute yourself and talk. Okay, I'm now just scrolling. Hokuntle. Hi, Hokuntle. Okay, someone has unmuted. Haone. Oh, there we go. Hi, Haone. How did you find our meeting today? I am a guest. I was speaking. Okay. I think she wrote in the chat. She says she's a guest. She'll speak in our next meeting. Hello, Hohontle. How did you find our meeting today?
Hello. I found the
Hello.
meeting very insightful, and I learned a lot. I really did learn a lot. Yes, and I got a lot of feedback from my table topic. I will work on that. Yes.
Oh, all right. So, so are you a Toastmaster?
No, I'm a guest. I just.
All right. So when are you ready to join Habaroni Toastmasters?
Soon. I'll be joining you guys soon.
All right. Hi, I see Wame. You have unmuted yourself. Hi, Wame. How did you find our meeting today?
Hi, Leya, and good evening, Toastmasters. The meeting was very insightful. I must commend all the speakers for not just presenting their speeches, but I think the speeches are things that I felt like I can also use and implement in my daily life. I think they really resonated with me. The power of taking small steps, emotions, self-regulation. I think it was really quite insightful. And I particularly loved all the words from the grammarian. I've learned a few new words today. So thank you so much, everyone.
So I'm assuming you're not a Toastmaster.
I'm not a Toastmaster,
Wame?
I'm a guest.
All right. So
Yes.
when are you willing to take that
Yeah.
step? When are you willing to take that step and start your own public speaking journey?
Yeah, I had paid membership before, but I never really did anything. I think I'm thinking about it. Probably 2026.
Oh, definitely follow up with you. Yes, please. You should pay and actually do something. We'll push you to make sure that you do something.
Thank you, Leya.
All right. Okay, I saw Fatima had actually shared a question in the chat. What does it take? I think I just saw it arriving. What does it take to be a Fahima had shared in the chat. What does it take to be a Toastmaster? To be a Toastmaster, there is an investment that you have to pay. So we have a once-off new membership fee, which is $25. And then we have a 6-month annual subscription, which is $60. So when you're initially starting off for the very, very, very first time, you have never been a Toastmaster, you would end up paying $85. But like Wame, who said she's been a Toastmaster before, so she's basically a returning Toastmaster. For her to get started on her Toastmasters journey, she'll just have to pay the $60 subscription, so she has access to the training material that advises you in terms of how to prepare for your speeches and all that you would need to do for you to become a speaker. And of course, what does it take to become a Toastmaster? Showing up at all the meetings, presenting your speeches, getting your feedback, applying that feedback, and that's how you become better and better as you continue to become a better speaker or leader. And I see, okay, we are doing really, really well with time. So I want to just say thank you so much for everyone who has joined us today. Our next meeting will be next week, which will be in person. So if you want an opportunity to practice your speech in an in-person environment, we do meet once a month in person in Dumani. It's near Pula Spa, like 200 meters from Pula Spa. You're free and welcome to join us there and practice your speech in person. Otherwise, for online, we'll see you 2 weeks from now online. And if you still have questions about Toastmasters, you want to know more, feel free to stay on the call. We will stay on the call for another 8 minutes to answer any questions. Other than that, thank you so much for joining. Good night and see you next week in person.